A special this week, Richard.
Excellent.
What have you been up to?
Gosh, well, we had a really exciting event where some volunteers from Herefordshire Action for Mammals came over to trap some small mammals in Farmer Phil's hedgerows.
Sounds pretty steady to me.
Yeah, right.
I call a really exciting event.
Tiger trapping or something like that.
Yeah.
Driving woolly mammoths over the edge of a cliff.
Yes, or perhaps the Big Dipper at Blackpool.
Beauty is in the eye of the beholder.
Right.
And we were catching something which is equally as beautiful, but just on a slightly smaller scale, but slightly more placid than zooming down to some wild dippy on a roller coaster. But it was great. It was really good. A big audience, a beautiful day on Sunday. And I think the guys were really impressed that they had this audience, you know. And of course, I went trailing along with my little iPod recorder. And we'd set these traps on the Wednesday before the Sunday and just left them open. We set 37 traps. Very expensive traps, like 70 quid each. So I did tell Phil not to run over them in his tractor, so he knew where they were.
What do they look like? I haven't got this in my mind at all.
Well, they're like two little rectangular boxes, one larger than the other. One you stuff with straw and goodies, lots of gerbil food. The other is really the entrance. And it has a sensitive little flap inside, so when the little creature goes in there looking for some food, it springs shut behind it and it's trapped alive. So you put the hay in the back so as it can find a little bit of shelter and it's safe and whatnot in this little aluminium tube.
And Hereford Action for Mammals go around setting these traps to do what?
To do animal surveys, to see what types of species are in whatever place they're asked to do these surveys in. I mean, obviously they do them off their own back as well, but they did surveying for the Nature Trust, Wildlife Trust and whatnot to get an idea of the creatures that are present in certain habitats. So, I mean, obviously we couldn't set them the night before because we didn't want those little guys in the trap all night. So Rachel very kindly came along at 6 o'clock in the morning. I guess when you guys were here slumbering away.
Oh, really?
Yeah, yes. and set them. It kind of restricted our chances a bit of catching something. Anyway, we started off in the least likeliest place to catch these animals.
Well, don't tell me what happened.
Yeah, okay. but it was, I was thinking, oh, golly, I really hope we do well. I hope we catch, because all these folks are, they're with bated breath, waiting to see something, waiting to see what it's all about. But I'll leave it to your imagination, or at least for the next 5 minutes.
Transport yourself, dear listener, back in time to the moment when Richard goes to catch a mouse.
OK, and we're away. Well, I've wandered up the field hedge. We're going to set some small mammal traps. These are live mammal traps, and this is for our open day this coming Sunday, or for the listener, this will probably be a couple of Sundays ago. I'm joined by Rachel from Herefordshire Action for Mammals, who's kindly volunteered to come up and show me how it's done. So we've just wandered half a mile with a whole load of boxes with all sorts of goodies in. I'm looking down, I'm seeing a variety of seeds, sunflowers, and it looks like hamster feed. Is it hamster feed?
Oh, it is.
Is that what mice like?
Yes.
Yeah.
Anything grainy.
Right.
Vegetables.
So it'll just excite them enough to go rummaging about in something that's alien, i.e. a trap. And then what's in here? There's a whole...
These are castors.
Right.
Basically, shrews are insectivorous.
Okay.
So they need, fly pupae, which is these, or anything insecty. We've had these kindly given to us by an angling shop.
Okay, I was going to say, you go to a fishing tackle shop to get those. Yeah.
The shrews have a really high metabolic rate.
Okay.
They have to eat every 4 hours.
Right.
So we have to put enough in the trap so that if they go into the traps, they can eat every 4 hours and don't die in the traps.
Oh, okay.
So that's why we have to provide for them.
It'd be slightly unfortunate, wouldn't it, to check the trap and find a little dead creature in there.
Yes. Yes, especially on a live capture.
Brilliant. So what else have we got in here? We've got some hay.
Yeah.
And that's presumably, is that for kind of putting inside the trap as well?
Yeah, that's to keep them warm during the night. Obviously it gets cold and it's just to insulate the traps.
Right,
so
okay.
Don't get hypothermic.
Excellent. And what else have we got in this box of goodies?
And then we've got the traps themselves, which are Longworth traps.
Yeah.
Specifically made for capturing small mammals.
Right.
We've got some that have got shoe holes in, which actually let the shoes escape. They can actually escape.
Oh, right. Blimey, that's a tiny hole. So a shrew small enough to get out of there.
They can squeeze through that.
Fantastic.
A mouse can squeeze through anything the size of a 2p piece.
Really?
Yeah.
And that's the size of what would have been probably a halfpence.
Yeah.
They were still in circulation.
Smaller than 5p piece.
Yeah.
I don't remember halfpence.
Oh my God, I'll show my age. That's shocking. Fantastic.
And then we've got some that haven't got the shoe holes in, so hopefully we can catch some shrews.
Catch some shrews in there. Oh, brilliant. Well, should we try and set some of these up?
Yeah.
Okay, so we've filled these little traps up with straw, or rather hay, and casters and seed, and Rachel's stuffing them now with his little guinea pig treats. These essentially they're quite intricate little devices, aren't they?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, how much does something like this cost?
One of these costs about £60 each.
Good Lord, that's a lot of money. That's incredible. Is that because, I suppose, do they need to make many, or are they a popular thing? These?
Everybody who does this knows what a long-width trap is.
Right.
So, well, they're the only style trap on the market nowadays that you can use.
So what we've done is we've filled up the larger chamber with all these goodies, and then this second part, which is a narrower chamber, this clips onto the front bit, does it?
Yep.
And we're not setting them now. We were just going to leave them in place and let the little creatures get in there and feast on all these goodies, because we don't want to catch them yet. We want to catch them hopefully on Sunday morning, just for our own day, so as we can show people. And the idea is then that a little mouse goes in this hole and stuffs its face on a whole plethora of casters and and nuts and crushed maize and things like that. And then I suppose if the trap's set, what do they do? Sort of sleep it off at the end of the trap in the hay.
Yeah, they're quite happy in there. They've got food, they've got warmth, and they just wait for us to come and let them out.
Fantastic. Well, should we get some of these ensconced into the hedgerow?
Uh-huh.
Right, so we've set, how many, 25 traps or something already? We've got another 15 to set. Now we've just come under this fantastic big oak, and we can see some bank vole entrances, some burrows underneath these lumps of sandstone here. So we'll put these, now there's a bit of a knack to this, Rachel, you said?
Yeah, you want to put them so that the entrance tilts forward so that they don't fill up with water if it rains, because you don't want a drowned small mammal.
Pick it up and it's full of dead, drowned vole, and a load of water.
Yeah.
That's the last thing you want. And earlier you said you catch other things in them as well as kind of voles and mice and things.
It has been known for stoats and weasels to be caught. I haven't personally, but apparently if you see a trap jumping,
right,
then you've got one of those. Yes.
So how'd you get one out? I mean, if you've got a stoat in there, it's not that big a trap. They must sort of wedge themselves in there.
Yeah, they do. They're voracious predators, and they'll go in there after the other small mammals.
Right, yeah.
It's just a case of loosening the trap and letting them work themselves out.
Right, okay.
Because I'm sure they take a nice nip out of you if you try to get too close.
Yeah, I think they would. Yeah, they're incredibly aggressive little guys. Fantastic. So we're going to set these traps now, and the plan is that you're going to come back on Sunday morning.
Yep.
What time?
6 o'clock.
6 o'clock, fair play. I'll probably be tucked up in my little bed on 6 o'clock, so thanks very much for that. And then, obviously, we can't set them the night before, because their open day isn't until the afternoon, so we can't set them, because if the guys get in there at night, it's too long for them to spend in a trap.
You shouldn't leave the traps any longer than 12 hours.
Right, so that'll be about right then. So hopefully, what are we likely to catch on Sunday morning, if anything?
Wood mice, bank voles, common shrew, pygmy shrew, possibly yellownecks if they're around in this area. Right. Yeah, anything small and furry.
Wow. Fingers crossed then, eh? Okay. Cheers, Rachel. Okay, so here we go. Tramping to try and find some small mammals. We've got a fantastic day. The weather's superb. It makes a change, that's a sure fact. A big audience anyway, so I'm hoping we will find some little mammals.
There's lots of torn up supermarket carrier bags. These are markers of where we put traps. And if you look a bit close to the ground, you might see a flash of silver. So that's the trap. What we've done is all down this hedge, and then a bit in the other field, we've put 37 traps. This is quite a good place to put them, because obviously you've got the hedge as a marker. They tend to like to run up and down linear corridors. So I'll get the first one out, and fingers crossed from now on.
Get the trap out to see if there's anything in it. There might not be anything in it. We're just going to wait and see.
This one hasn't got anything in it. If there was anything in it, the door would be closed. But it isn't, so we haven't got anything. So what we'll do is move on to the next one.
There are 40 traps to check.
How long have we got? Quite.
Yeah, we'll be fine.
Rachel will do that.
Yeah.
No. Why are you saying no? No. Because the trap's still open. Oh, leave them out.
What happens if we get to the end and we've only got 39 traps?
There's only 37 actually.
Oh, right. Oh, well, actually, I've gained a couple of them.
Probably not.
So are you feeling optimistic, Rachel?
Yes.
That's good, yeah. What number are we on now, guys? How many traps is that we've looked at?
39, isn't it?
There's a trap here.
Right. Excuse me.
No, well backwards.
There's got to be something in
No.
there.
Next
Goodness.
trap is here. It's here. The next trap is. Please.
Fingers crossed.
No.
No.
Oh, next one. No.
Nettles, Ted. Right, I have to point out now that this particular trap has a shrew hole in it. So if it's a shrew that's gone in the trap, it won't be in there.
Ah.
So we'll cross our fingers that it isn't a shrew.
Through a hole, that's
Yeah. Smaller than a 5p piece.
Really?
I think it's the way the straw's compacted in the back, and I'm feeling confident.
Right.
Can you see, Ted? Let Ted in, because he's just little. I got it. Ready? Bigger children can get it.
Oh, so you're putting on gloves while you
putting on your
don't have
surgical gloves,
germs.
Rachel?
Because there's nasty stuff in rodent.
Do you mean germs?
Really?
Yeah.
Right.
Germs? Like bad.
Do they have sharp teeth?
Yes, they can bite.
Oh no!
Watch out, everybody!
Metal gloves.
Anything there?
No.
Anything jumping? No.
Must have been a shrew then. Must have been.
You have bad luck.
At least he had a nice snack.
Oh dear.
Please be our lucky day. Please not be our not lucky day. Please. Is it there? Is it there? No.
No.
Is it got a hole in?
No.
Please, somebody pinch me when this is over. Yeah. This might be our lucky day. And it hasn't got a hole. Please. Maybe somebody put their finger in the trap and set it off.
Rattling around.
Yes. Yes.
Can you see him in the bottom there?
Hey!
Let's have a party.
If you all go back a little bit, I'll get the stuff out and then we'll put him into the bag, yeah?
Yes. He might die.
You okay?
He could die without any air. He might
He's got lots of
suffocate.
air in the bag.
Frightened of all of you.
What is it? It's a mouse. A mouse. Oh, listen. Oh,
It's not a mouse.
it's a rat.
It's not a rat. It's
a
a
gerbil.
bankroll.
Huh? It's a what?
Bankroll.
It's a bank ball. What's that? It's a bank ball. That's what it said.
Joe?
I'll go to the bank. And then he goes to the bank. He can go to the bank, otherwise he'd have money, wouldn't he? No, the bank is the river.
Listen. Mice have got much bigger eyes and big ears.
And also they're scared of cats.
So how old is something like that then, Rachel, do you think? Is there a way of aging a ball?
You can tell sometimes whether they've reached sexual maturity.
Oh, that's so I might have I saw one running across a
So you're squeezing it now, are you?
We call it scruffing. They've got loose skin behind their ears.
Right.
That you,
see how is it female male?
Yeah, look at that.
and if you get it just right, they can't turn around and bite you. And I don't think that was just right.
There we go.
Talk to it.
So we've got a male.
Oh, look.
Is that male? It's a male boy or girl? A male
It's a boy.
I know.
So
Are we allowed to eat him?
Nose.
Let's
Does he
see.
dig holes?
yes,
No.
if you see holes in the bank, quite often there'll be a bank full.
Oh, it looks so cute.
But,
when it's frightened.
So is he a young male or?
His. Don't know how to say it without quite grabbing. He's reached sexual maturity. He'll be ready to breed.
Oh,
Right,
there's poos in there.
Possibly a year old,
Right.
maybe a bit more.
How old?
A year and a bit. I think he's getting a bit stressed, so what we'll do is we'll put him back.
Let him
And then he'll go off.
Put him back in the trap. That's where you found him, in the trap. Come on, let's get Well, we could actually just let him through. Then he'd be
There he goes. Go over it, little fella. Well done. The star of the show. Well done.
He's actually big. Will we be lucky enough or not?
There's something there.
Oh, yes. Yeah, shot back in.
Oh, yes.
It's a bit unnerving, really.
We've got another one.
We found
Seems a bit
two.
larger than the other one, doesn't it? Are females bigger than males, or the
Is
other
that
way round?
female, male?
Other way round.
Just going to find out whether it's a...
Isn't it allowed stickers?
There he is. Look, Cecily.
Is it
Here we
male?
go, another boy.
Oh.
But he's a bit bigger than the last one.
He's got one teeth. That's because he doesn't brush his teeth and he has got a toothbrush. That's not a joke. That's why they can't brush their teeth. That wasn't a joke.
Right. So we'll put him back.
What is it?
It's another bank full.
Ah.
There's the little boy.
Okay.
Kids are getting a bit blasé about the whole thing, aren't they?
It's a male, isn't it? They be male and also they could be what is it?
Another one of the same again.
Is it a male?
I can't tell you that. I mean, look at its bits.
What? I mean, it's poo.
No, it's lady bits or man bits. It's a lot smaller than the others, so I'm guessing probably a female. No, my
a
guess is
male.
wrong. It's another male.
How they just stand there.
Yes.
He's not bothered, is he? Well, he probably is, but it's,
There.
they're quite steady, aren't they?
You.
Not like yellow-necked mice at all.
No, yellow-necked mice will take your arm off.
Really?
Not really.
So you're just being sarcastic.
Yes. So, yeah, another one of the same. So he's.
Is it because mostly boys are stupid? I mean.
Like the wind in the willows, that was, wasn't it?
I'll tell you what, I don't know where Mr. Toad was.
No.
But it was absolutely superb. Yeah, it's fantastic. And then for me, the highlight was when Rachel grabbed one of these little voles by the scruff of its neck and turned its underbelly upside down to look at whether or not it had a little penis to see what sex it was.
Oh, Richard!
She didn't know how to describe it. I thought it was very lovely. But she was very innocent. She wasn't quite sure what to say. Oh, yes, it is a male because you can see by the bits. Oh, yeah.
Anything special you want to tell me
rare.
about voles?
Voles, they're great owl food.
Oh, love.
I think and actually, you've got lots of voles. There's a really good chance you're going to have kestrels as well, because they're probably one of the most stable diets for kestrels. They're hovering away. And interestingly, it's thought that vole urine has a sort of ultraviolet colour about it. So when kestrels are flying up above, they can see the little trails of voles urine.
Really?
To see whether or not those trails are being used regularly. And they'll hover there and see the little purple streak below and just hover and wait for the vole to make a dash for it between
That's a
burrows.
bit unfortunate, because the last time we talked about ultraviolet, I think, was glowworms, and that was so that they had some love. And now it turns out that if your wee is ultraviolet, you get scuppered.
You get scuppered, yeah. Yeah, that's right. You get feasted upon. So I don't think voles live very long. I think they're quite short-lived. You know, I think they're doing well. If they make a year, I think they're doing really well.
Yeah. What do voles eat?
They're real opportunists. They'll eat whatever they can get their little munchkin ways
What,
around.
seeds?
Nightmare this year at home, because on our banks there's millions and millions of voles. Not many last year. That's why barn owl population suffered a bit last year off the back of poor vole population. But they're perishers. I wanted to leave my broad beans to get a load of seed, and I couldn't because the voles were climbing at the broad beans and eating all the beans. So they ate the peas, the beans, the nightmare. So they will munch on pretty much anything that takes their fancy.
So is a vole a critter?
It is a critter, yeah, it is good. Yeah, for Pod Chef, it's a critter.
Right, there we are. What a wonderful special, Ricardo, you did.
Thank you very much. Bye.
See you next week.
Yeah,
Subscribe on iTunes.
indeed.
Bye.
Interestingly, it's thought that vole urine has a sort of ultraviolet colour about it, so when kestrels are flying up above, they can see the little trails of vole's urine.
I shall have a look at the toilet now, in case...
See if you're... Look at the toilet? Why? What are you trying to look at the toilet for? You're getting voles in your toilet. I wasn't sure where this was going at all. Wants to get an ultraviolet light to see your own pee? Or what? Have a look at the toilet. Good idea. Put a hover above it and go down and pounce when Phil goes to take a pee.
It's gone wrong.
It's the thought of them taking balls to the disco.
Strobe on the vole pee. Wow, look at that. Disco balls. Perhaps they do have vole discos. Who knows?